Hey everybody, I'm Shane, this is Sam, and this is Oklahoma Beer Reviews. Today, sort of in response to Ronald Theriot and his Louisiana beer reviews, we will be reviewing Miller Lite. That's right, classic Miller Lite. Been around since the 70s. Rate Beer loves it. They give it a 0 overall and a 2 in the style. The Beer Advocate gives it a 53, which is in their awful range. The Bros gave it a 59, still awful.
It's still awful.
Well, 59, not that much better than 53.
No.
In my school, you still fail. And I dropped this. I sure hope it doesn't explode. These, normally Miller Lite is a 4.2% beer, but we bought these at a grocery store in Oklahoma, which means it's 3.2 ABV. This one may explode all over me because I dropped it on the way in here.
These are mostly in the household for tomato beers.
Yeah, I do love the tomato beer. This is going to have gargantuan head again because I dropped it.
Heck yeah. Would you get maybe a third of the can in there?
I got half the can. So yeah, gargantuan, half the can, white head. We're using the classy PBR glasses for this.
They are my favorite. I almost exclusively drink it.
If only I had a Miller Lite glass, but I don't. So I figured PBR glass would be appropriate. Yeah, they've never served Miller Lite at McNally's that I know of. I mean, they probably have it in their list. I've never bothered to look, honestly.
No, it's not one of those things you really look for.
See, other people drink crazy cheap beers when they go out. I want to drink like crazy expensive beers that I don't want to buy a whole 4-pack or 6-pack of.
Yeah.
Because even though you are paying like premium bar price, you're still paying less than a 4-pack, especially if it's a beer I think I might not like.
Right.
Because I don't want to be stuck with a bunch of trying to pawn them off on people, you know, like you do with your Miller Lights and such. Look, if you're making tomato beer out of it and it's really light, it doesn't matter what it tastes like, it's going to be totally overshadowed by red beer. So yeah, some people call it tomato beer, some people call it red beer.
Clamato.
I've heard red one, chilada, all kinds of names. But essentially, you make like you're going to make a Bloody Mary, you leave the olives out, you add beer instead of vodka, and you're basically there.
So if you're into that sort of thing, then give it a try. That's a great beer for it.
But, you know, let's keep an open mind. I did drink like half of these before we even started this broadcast, so...
because they're cheap.
I have an opinion already, but I will try to relay a, you know, more educated stance on it.
And we actually got these for even cheaper than usual because we got them at a grocery store that's going out of business.
So, yeah, it's a great time to pick up some cheap beers. You're going to see some other cheap beer review responses as a result of that. This is...
smells like nothing.
It smells like corn. There's...
I can smell glass almost before I can smell that.
It's vaguely sweet. There's just this vague hint of citrus back there somewhere, and that's about all I got. The head on this is now completely gone, despite being 4 inches, so that dissipated more or less instantly.
Yeah.
We're beyond rapidly at this point. Let's see what it tastes like.
Well, we've both been drinking it already.
Tastes just like it did an hour ago. No, is very light. It's drier than its compatriots in Budweiser and Coors.
It says it's got that going for it, in my opinion, because I like dry.
The noble hops are tasteable. You can tell that they're noble hops, and they're pretty. I mean, noble hops is pretty standard. I like it fine. It's a kind of like the Harvest Saison of yesterday, except not quite as good. And that take all the flavor out of that beer and the spice, and you're left with this beer.
I don't think I want a clove flavor in this particular beer, though.
No cloves, man. That would probably add something. I don't know. Cloves at the very least. But yeah, it's your very normal macro light. I mean, it's not great, but
It goes down in gulps.
you
That's
know, if you're at the ballpark and you're watching a game or you're
doing anything that's hot and physically intensive.
if you're mowing the lawn or
Yeah.
you're watching hockey with your friends or whatever, this is fine for that. It serves that purpose. Millions of people buy it every month, so it can't be all bad. I mean, those people aren't drinking turpentine,
Luckily.
but I mean, hell, they sell a lot more Miller Lite than they do Sunny Delight. So
Yeah.
whatever you're into, I guess. But and honestly, I'd rather drink this than
I
Sunny
think
Delight.
I think I've personally purchased more Sunny Delight in my lifetime than I have Miller Lite.
I cannot say that.
I definitely can say that.
Um, well, all I know for sure is that the public disagrees with you on this one, as Miller Lite significantly outsells Sunny Delight.
Oh, I realize, but I'm just saying my own personal. I'm all about the Sunny D though.
But honestly, if I had to choose between Miller Lite, Coors Light, and Bud Light, I guess I'm a Miller Lite man.
Yeah, if I had to pick one of them, because as far as the macro lagers go, I like it because at least it's dry. I like dry. It's more comfortable for me to drink.
It's noble hops, and it's a little less sweet than Coors.
Yeah.
And I find that sweetness a little bit off-putting. And so, yeah, I think ultimately, I mean, this is a beer you could chug like 30 of,
Oh yeah.
but
This would be an easy beer for the 100 and 100 challenge.
so definitely an ode to my college experience, I
Yeah.
guess. Ultimately, I give Miller High Life a 5.
Out of what?
10.
5 out of 10. Yeah. You know what? I'll be nice. I'll have to agree with that. I was gonna go with like a 4, 4, 5, but a good solid 5 because if I was at a store trying to find cheap beer at a time of day when the liquor store is not open, this is probably what I'll grab.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Oklahoma has thoroughly draconian beer laws.
Oh yes.
And so, in addition to the 3-2 law, you can only buy liquor.
Or anything higher than 3.2 or 4 point something wine is also available in random places.
But at special liquor stores,
Yeah.
and they can only be open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., and that's it.
Basically, if you want anything stronger than Boone's Farm or 3.2 beer, yeah, you gotta get around before 9 and do it. And you also can't do it on Sunday or any day that you vote.
So, yeah, pretty much if you live in Oklahoma, you've probably drunk more, light beer than the average beer drinker, even if you're a beer connoisseur, because there are times when it's all you can get.
Yeah, like a 3-day weekend for like Memorial Day or Labor Day. There are 2 days where there are nowhere to purchase alcohol except for at 7-Eleven, someplace like that. And it's 3.2 beer. So,
And it's also, you've got your basic choices. You get your Miller Lite, your Coors Light, your Bud Light, all of those flavors and not light.
and all the crazy stuff Bud does nowadays.
Yeah, or you can get all the like Miller 64 and Miller High Life and Old Milwaukee, but these are your essential choices. You're looking at, Heineken maybe. It would be like the gourmet beer, and then it's twice the price of the Miller Lite.
Yeah.
So you kind of get what you need to at those scenarios. But that being said, I think there's not much else to say about Miller Lite, unless you had anything else, Sam.
I don't think there's anything else that anyone has to say about it. It's okay.
It's a solid 5. It
If
is.
someone hands you
fine,
one, you're not gonna be mad at them.
right?
Yeah.
All right. In that case, thanks for watching. Like, rate, subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Oklahoma Beer Reviews.